welcome back. So today I am filming in the living room because there's stuff everywhere. There is Christmas presents, so I've started putting things in Christmas bags so that I can work out what I've got for who and then do some wrapping. So there's lots of bags in the conservatory where I usually film, but it's really cold in there, so I'm not bothered that I can't film in there. And then upstairs is filled with stuff. Now, let me explain. So no spend November has gone out of the window completely. I think I've learnt quite a lot from trying to do it. I think one of the things that I learned is that November's not a good month to do it. So in November, notoriously, there are lots of sales, lots of discounts, lots of offers. You've got your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I would be really daft not to take up some of those offers. And yeah, the thing that did it for me was I've had an infection now for a couple of weeks, and the first lot of antibiotics didn't do anything, so I had to go back to the doctors and they did a week's course of antibiotics, which I am now, I think it's 4 days into. So I had to go uptown to get the prescription because Dave was working. So I parked close to town, and on the way up to Boots, there is St Vincent's charity shop, which is one of my favourites. And I went in there and they had a sale on, like a pound sale. So if the tag had a blue cross on it, it was reduced to £1. And it was on everything. It was winter clothes, summer clothes, absolutely everything. Hats, scarves, gloves, coats, trousers, dresses, tops. And yeah, I think what I learnt was I was feeling pretty rubbish that day, and it felt like a bit of a cheer me up. I thought, oh, if I just get a few things that are £1, that'll cheer me up, and it's not like I'm spending a huge amount of money. So yeah, that was my downfall. I came out of there with a humongous bag of stuff. I didn't spend a lot of money. I think I think it was £16 I spent in St Vincent's. And yeah, that sale has been on all this week and it's also on next week as well. So if you're watching this when it's released, then the following week, they've still got their Blue Cross sale on. So take advantage. There was some beautiful things in there. I got a Gap 100% lamb's wool cardigan that zips up the front for £1. What else did I get? I got all sorts. It was amazing. And yeah, other places were following suit as well. So other charity shops had sales on. The Age UK, pretty much all of their stock is £2, which was amazing. There was some sea salt items in there, sea salt of Cornwall. They always do really well for me on eBay. There was also some white stuff, so I picked some of that up, and a little bit of vintage as well. So yeah, no spend November is not happening, but that's absolutely fine. I've learned things from it. So yeah. And I've got a few things to show you. I am I've been looking at my plans for 2025, and I want to do some new things next year. Try and mix things up a little bit. When I was younger, I really liked styling my clothing and jewellery. So I wasn't into trends, and I wasn't into, having to wear what was on trend right now. But I did like styling my own clothes. So I had my own style. And I used to like to put vintage jewellery together with certain things, and that's something I'd really like to get back into. So while I've been laid up poorly and not being able to do much listing and much work, I've been doing some research, and I was looking at things like the spring and summer trends that are coming up for 2025. And what I'm going to do is I've made a list of the trends in terms of what styles are going to be in, and then I've made myself a little colour coded chart as well, which has got the colours on so that I know what colours people are going to be looking for, and I can tailor my sourcing to those trends and things and pick up things that people are going to be looking for. And I tested the theory. There was a particular item that they said is going to be really big in spring summer 2025. So I went and favourited a few on Vinted, and literally by the next morning, within 12 hours, those items had all gone. So people are already looking for spring and summer things for next year. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I've bought myself a couple of bits as well, a couple of vintage bits that I thought I could style and I could show people how to wear vintage jewellery with the outfits as well. So I can show them kind of earrings, necklaces, bangles, vintage accessories, so bags and belts and maybe hair accessories, hats, that kind of thing. So I'm quite excited about that. It's pushing me out of my comfort zone, which is always a good thing. As a business owner, I think it's good to push yourself a little bit and see what you can learn. So this is my chart that I've made. So I'm going to pin one of these up in my little office so that it's always kind of at the forefront of my mind. And then I've done a little colour card with a list of all the different trends to go in my handbag as well. So if I hold that up, so these are the colours that I'll be looking for, and apparently the colour of the year for 2025 is Future Dusk, and it's kind of like, it's really hard to show on here, it's this colour, but it's like a really deep nighttime purpley blue, more blue than purple. It's lovely, it's a really nice colour. But also there are greens, reds, pastel yellow, khaki, olive green, they're all trending as well. And then there are certain types of fabrics that are trending. So you've got sheer fabrics, so see-through fabrics layered over other things. You've got checked fabrics and tartan fabrics, plaids. A couple of the charity shops that I went in had sale rails and they had kind of like more summery wear on there, so I picked some bits up, and yeah, I'll grab those and show you now. So there are quite a few bits to go through. Right, let's have a look at what I got today. So I only picked 2 pieces up today, but I went around quite a few charity shops. I had another prescription to pick up, so I had to go get that from town. So this one is definitely vintage. I'm not sure what the brand is, and I think that might be the only label that's on there. I think I did check the inside. Yeah, there's no inside label, so I don't know what the fabric is and I don't know what the brand is, but it's definitely vintage. Very, very 80s vibes. There we go. So it's a lovely blouse with buttons on the cuffs, and it's like a silky, shiny fabric, and this is almost like an animal print. It's lovely. I really love it. I love black and white. It's a lovely colour combination. So yeah, and that was only £3 in Bernardo, so I didn't think that was bad. So that'll be going on eBay. And then this, I'm not sure if this is a handmade item. It's definitely vintage looking, and it has absolutely no labels on, which is why I think it's probably handmade. But I was attracted to it because it's got birds on it, which is a little bit different. So waistcoats will be back next year, and in particular suede effect and leather waistcoats, vintage waistcoats with those like tapestry patterns on. And this I will be listing soon because it's a winter item. But this is a lovely, you see those beautiful birds? So it's a knitted open front waistcoat. It has a couple of little pockets on the front. It's nice and thick. It's definitely got some wool content as well. You can tell it's got that feel to it. And that was only £4 in Bernardo, so I was really, really happy with that. It's very, very good quality. It's like really thick and really well made. I did do a Google lens on it to see whether it was a fashion item, to see if I could find another one, and nothing else came up, which is why I'm thinking it quite possibly might be handmade. So yeah, I was quite happy with those. And then in terms of kind of some things to put away as well, I'll be putting things like winter stuff on to sell December, January, and then probably February onwards I'll put springtime, summertime stuff on, see if we can start getting, you know, some of that stuff sold. So this is French Connection. So that's another thing I've been trying to be a bit more mindful of as well, is brands, trying to pick up the higher end rather than just kind of high street. So this again has got like an animal print to it, but it's a very, very sheer see-through fabric. So you can see my hand through there. But it's a lovely kind of pale pastel green, long sleeve blouse, button up the front, and that one is a UK size 8. It looks a tad bigger than an 8 to me. But yeah, I thought that was lovely. And it fits the brief as well, which is good. Now, I mentioned bubble hems. So when I think of bubble hems, I think of skirts and dresses, but they also, on the catwalk, they had like big shirts that had big poofed bubble hems and big bubble hems on the sleeves. And I spotted this in St. Vincent's. So this was on the Blue Cross sales. This was only £1. And this has got bubble sleeves. There we go. So not dramatic, but they're definitely bubbled out on the little cap sleeves. So I thought that was nice. That'd be a nice springtime little jacket to wear over thing. Something for £1. It's got a little bit of stretch in it. But yeah, I thought that was quite cute. Then I got this in, where was this from? Bernardo's. So I absolutely love it. I was very, very tempted to keep it because it's a very comfortable piece of clothing. So this is a feeler sweatshirt with a zip on the front, and it's kind of a nice green, like a Christmassy green with a lilac and white. And this is actually a Feeler and Urban Outfitters collaboration. And these sold out, so I was quite excited about that. It is from, I think it was 2021. I did a little Google search on this to get the information, but it's an amazing condition. I'm not sure if anybody's even worn it. So I picked that up for £6 and then hoping to pop that on eBay and make a profit. Very retro looking. And then this has to be probably one of my favourite vintage pieces. This was in St. Vincent's again, and it was the second time that I went in. They are constantly putting new stock out, and that's something that the lady told me. She said that they're having the sale over 2 weeks and they'll keep putting stock out, so it won't just be the same things every time you go in, which is brilliant because then you're shifting things as well. So this is a two-piece outfit. So we have this jacket, and it's that kind of fabric that feels like suede, so very, very on trend. And it's got some little pockets on the front and the kind of a gathered effect at the bottom. It has hidden buttons, so it buttons up the front, but then it's got a panel down the front. And it's a beautiful teal blue, very, very nice. And it gathers in at the cuffs as well. And this, for the two-piece suit, was £1. £1 for a jacket and a skirt. Like, who can say no to that? I can't say no to that. And it had originally been £5, which is a bargain, to be fair. So this is a vintage Marks and Spencer's. It's got the label inside there. So the jacket is actually a 12. And then the matching skirt, I think, has a different size in it. I think it's a 14. Yeah, 14. But to be fair, vintage sizes are always smaller. So people were smaller and the fittings were smaller. And I always put measurements on for vintage because you can never just go by it being a size 10 or a 12 or a 16 or what have you. So even though it says it's 14, I don't think it's probably more like a 12, which is maybe why they're together, a 12 and a 14. So yeah, it's got some nice little pleated detail in there. Zips up the back. Amazing quality, no stains, no holes, no pulls. Unbelievable. I won't even need to clean it, which is amazing. We'll just freshen it up, I think. Oh, it actually says to wash it on a wool cycle. Interesting. It doesn't have any wool in it. Maybe that's just, it's a gentle wash. So yeah, vintage jacket and the matching skirt for £1. So yeah, this is why no spends just went out the window completely. So yeah, so it's been closed of late. So in terms of the business, I've bought myself a nice big wall calendar to put in the office, and I'm going to mark on there the kind of key dates, so things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, anything that's going to inform my marketing strategy, my selling strategy, the items that I might be listing and trying to sell. I kind of need to have more of a coordinated approach. I've been treating this as a business for the past year, so yeah, just over a year now, and things are just starting to pick up, so the momentum has just started, and I really want to grab hold of that and just keep going, and it's quite exciting. I'm really excited to see where things are going to go, and there's lots of new things I want to introduce, and yeah, hopefully 2025 will be a really, really good year. It will be a good year. Let's put good vibes out there. So yeah, so I'm trying to get a bit more organised. I did a training session where we talked about organisation and the things that you can do to make the best of your time. Because as a small business owner, you're kind of pulled in lots of different directions. You are your own accountant, you've got to do all your sourcing, you've got to clean everything, you're your own photographer, you've got to list everything, you are the postal service, you've got, all these different demands. Plus, I have a chronic illness as well that I have to manage alongside, and that takes, quite a lot of thought. So, yeah, I'm trying to get a bit more coordinated, organised, and making the most of the energy that I do have. So, when it is a good day, I can make the most of it. I can do, a lot more things because I'm being more organised. So, I'm hoping that, yeah, I'm really excited. Really excited. I've got like so many ideas. I had to just dump everything on a sheet of paper the other day because everything was just buzzing around my little head. I'm looking forward to doing the styling. So I'm looking forward to doing some try-ons. So I've bought some items that I'm going to wear and I'm going to match them up with jewellery. So vintage jewellery and maybe some of my handmade jewellery as well, so I can show you how things can be worn. Yeah, really excited about that. I'm not used to wearing certain colours, wearing certain styles, so I'm quite interested to try these new things. But I think it'll be fun. I've watched a few other YouTube videos where people have styled clothing with vintage jewellery, and I think it's really good. It just shows you all the potential of vintage jewellery and how it can be worn, and that it's not just for evening wear or fancy parties or formal wear or anything like that. You can wear vintage all the time. I wear vintage all the time. I have a brooch on pretty much every jacket that I own. I wear vintage beads most of the time. I've got my vintage earrings, bangles, love wearing bangles, stacking bangles in particular. So yeah, so I'm excited to share all of that with you. So things are going really well on the selling front. It is a busy time of year and I've sold to some really interesting places. So I don't just sell to people, I also sell to companies. And recently I had a purchase from Dominion Theatre in London, which I actually saw when I went down to London with my nephew. We walked past it, which was quite nice. And they bought one of my handmade necklaces, which is awesome, like an Art Deco style rhinestone necklace. So that went to the theatre. I've sold to ITV and Channel 4. And then more recently, I sold to Pinewood Studios in the UK, which they have lots of different companies down there at Pinewoods. And this purchase was by someone who manages the costume side of things. So yeah, that was quite exciting. And we were having some little chat back and forth, and I was really tempted to ask like where that necklace was going to be worn. Like, could they tell me if it was going to be in a movie, whether it was going to be in a TV series, and maybe if I get in touch again, then I might have a cheeky little ask and see if I can find out. So things are picking up, sales are really picking up, and for 2025 my aim is going to be daily sales, so a sale every single day. And that's to motivate me, to push me to list, because if I need to be selling every day, there needs to be a variety on there. There needs to be, stock rotation. I need to be putting new things on, maybe pulling older things off, reducing older things, putting them in the sale area. I have a little clearance section that I put things in if they've been on there for too long. Try and get rid of them, bundle them up, stick them on eBay. That's another option. Yeah, daily sales, I'm really keen to. If I can make daily sales, then that is really going to mean that I'll have a stable income, which means then that, I can put some money away in savings. I can contribute towards my pension. I've got my own private pension pot. I can consider things like little breaks away, little holidays. I've already booked 2 trips. So in March next year, I'm going to be going to Lancaster and Morecambe for a day trip on the coach, and then also Saltburn and Redcar, which is on the coast, on the east coast. And I've been to all of these places before and they are fantastic for charity shops, so I'm really looking forward to those. And the company that I use, Yorkshire Rose Holidays, they had a Black Friday offer where if you bought one trip full price, you got a second trip for a £5. So I got both trips for £28, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those. I like to have things in the calendar to look forward to. And they're kind of things that I'll enjoy, but they're also business trips as well, which is cool. So the last thing I'll show you is, I thought this was really funky. I got this today in the Forget Me Not charity shop in Wakefield, the hospice shop. And when I saw it, I kind of thought, ooh, it's definitely vintage. And then I picked it up, turned it upside down, and it does say West Germany on the bottom. There we go. So this is a West Germany jug. And I absolutely love this pattern. It's got that drippy glaze effect to it. And just the shape, look at that shape. There's no chips on it. It's in, you know, amazing condition. But yeah, I thought that was really funky. I did do a little Google search and I saw a couple of these listed on Etsy, kind of like £30–40. And this cost me £3.50. So I was quite chuffed with that. Just needs a little clean, it's a little bit dusty and dirty, but yeah, not bad for £3.50. So I still pick up small ceramic items. I don't mind posting things like that. And yeah, I've had a good morning. I think I'm 4 days into my antibiotics, my week's course. So I'm now going to go rest. I'm going to get my pyjamas back on. I might stick a film on this aft and just put my feet up. And then once I'm back on my feet and I'm feeling better, I'm going to do some listing. I've got everything hung up on hangers ready. So I've done a little bit of prep. I've kind of got the creases out of things, cleaned things up, got them all hanging, ready to go. And I just need to have my, photography session. I'll photograph everything in one go. I've wrote descriptions for everything already as well. And then I can just sit with my laptop and upload everything and get listed. So yeah. So I hope everybody has an awesome weekend, and I'm not sure what video I'm going to do next week. I've got a jewellery haul that I bought online that I could show you. I've got a fixing video that I need to do. I've got lots of jewellery that needs fixing. So yeah, I'm not sure, so watch this space.